let's go ahead and start creating some filings. And in this first scenario, I want to show you an initiating filing. So I'm going to log in as a different attorney. And this is an attorney who's been verified. They've been doing all sorts of filings. You can see this table here at the top center of this person's home page. It says your last 5 filings. Now this person has lots of filings, I'll just let you know. But what we do is we show you the 5 most recent you've been working on. We figure those are hot, right? You've been working on them, you may still be working on them, preparing documents to attach, things like that. And so rather than having you go and find the one you want, we just show you your 5 most recent, thinking that there's a good chance you're probably going to be needing access to them right away. But of course, you can access any of your filings. I'll show you that also a little bit later on, how to very quickly find any of your filings. Okay, so to begin a case, or I should say, to begin a filing, as you just saw, I'm going to click here to start. I'm going to indicate which of the courts I'm wanting to file into. I click next. Once again, it shows me who I am, and don't we all want to know who we are? My 4 choices, I'm starting a new case. Notice, however, that the checkbox of click here if you are an attorney is no longer on this screen. Why is that? Because TurboCourt already knows I'm an attorney. I've already been verified. So it's simply going to skip that. So please proceed. We know who you are. So I'll click next, and it will take me to the beginning of the process to create the filing. Anytime you're creating a filing for TurboCourt, whether you're initiating a new case or simply filing documents into an existing case, it's a simple 3-step process, and you'll go through this same process each time. Step 1, you answer a couple of questions to help the court understand what it is you're filing. Step 2, you attach your documents. Step 3, you electronically submit everything. And if there's a payment required, you'll make your payment at that time. Okay? Answer a couple questions, attach your documents, electronically submit. So this is the beginning of that step 1, answer a few questions. And it's really just sort of a guided process. TurboCourt knows all of the requirements that the Connecticut Probate Court has in all of these different filing scenarios. And so the general rule of thumb is whatever it is you're filing, just follow along with what's presented to you on screen, and you shouldn't go wrong. Sometimes you'll see a question, sometimes you won't see another question. It just depends on what you're filing. We know what the court needs, and we have it set up to produce what I like to call clean filings, to eliminate or significantly reduce any reason why the court might reject your filing, right? Something's missing or whatever that might be. Okay, so rule of thumb, just follow along with what's presented to you on screen for your filing scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And the first thing it's showing me is the case categories. You'll see a substantial list here of case categories. I'll go ahead and select conservatorship. I click next. TurboCourt says, oh, we know that since you're initiating a case, you're going to need to file an appearance document. So we're just telling you that up front, and we will establish a placeholder when you finish answering these questions that gives you a spot to put that appearance document for you to upload your appearance document so that you don't forget to include it. Okay? In fact, you won't be able to submit this filing without this appearance document. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Okay, first document, what is it you want to file? Now, I can file one or many documents. Okay? What you're going to see in this list of documents is a very long list of possible documents in this situation. Maybe I don't remember the exact name of that document. It's some sort of a petition. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. So I'm going to use the search box here at the top to help narrow down this long list of documents. So if I type the letter P, it says it found 60 documents, PE, 32 documents, PET, 26 documents. Okay, that's getting close. Let's find the one I want. And there it is. It's the PC 300 petition for involuntary appointment of a conservator. Now, notice that because I selected this particular document, we know that the Connecticut Probate Court also wants you to file a PC 300 CI confidential information document. So we will establish a placeholder for that one as well for you. All right? So again, these aren't Turbo Court rules. These are Connecticut Probate directives. Great. So thanks for letting me know. I'll make sure to get that one prepared. When I click Next, I'm essentially done. I've answered the questions. But oops, there was another document I wanted to attach. I forgot. Okay. You can click Review, edit your answers at any time. It'll take me back into that short little interview where I answered a couple of questions. And it'll allow me to change or add anything. So I'm just going to jump right into that final section. And so there's my document one, and I want to check the box at the bottom here that says, oh no, I've got another document I want to add. And so when I check that box, it says, okay, what's your second document? And for this, I'm going to file the physician's evaluation. I click Next. It regenerates everything for step 2, which is to attach my documents. And so here are my placeholders. There's my PC 183 for my appearance, the PC 300 that I selected, the 300 CI confidential information that apparently the court also wants, and the 370 physician's evaluation that I said I wanted to attach. So those are the 4 documents in this particular filing that I'll be attaching. But before I do that, let's just go up to the top here, and let's take a look at the envelope, if you will, of this particular filing. Now, we give each of these filings a number, and we in TurboCourt refer to these as form sets. So these, again, are terms that are synonymous. So a form set, a filing, a form set filing, that's all one and the same thing. So you're going to hear me say those terms in different ways. I'm talking about the exact same thing. So it's a set of documents that are going to be filed. So for now, I'll call it a form set filing. And each of these form set filings is given a unique number across all of TurboCourt, the TurboCourts across the country. This is your unique number right now for this one particular form set filing. It's not a case number, of course, but it is a tracking number for you. If there are any filing fees or other fees that the court has determined are required, we will display them to you here because this is what we'll be paying now as part of this filing submission. The status of this particular form set filing, you can see here, and it's currently called completed. Now, there are many statuses in TurboCourt. If you were to click on this information icon next to that status label, you'll see a long list of statuses and their descriptions, but really there's essentially 4 that you most want to concern yourself with. Most of them are not relevant or pertinent to you at all. So the 4 statuses that you want to be aware of for your filings in TurboCourt are completed, which is where we are right now, which essentially says I've finished answering the questions. I finished setting up what this filing is about, okay? The next is delivered. So I'm going to attach my documents and then electronically submit everything. Once the court receives that, the status goes from completed to delivered. Then the court's going to process that filing, accept your filing, and it will then move from delivered to e-filed. That's what you're looking for, right? So from completed to delivered to e-filed. Now, if for any reason the court does find a reason to reject the filing, they would, then it would go from delivered to rejected, and then you'd have to tend to that, okay? But more often than not, you're looking at from completed to delivered to e-filed. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about and show you the different ways of attaching your documents. So you may have, for example, in this first document, the appearance, you may have already prepared this. You've got it on your computer, and you just need to upload it, okay? So for that, I'm just going to simply click the attach link that's next to that placeholder. We already know what kind of a document it is. It's the appearance. We've already filled in the title description for you, but you're welcome to rename that or add to it or change it however you like. And then I'm simply going to choose my file to upload. Please note that for the Connecticut probate courts, the only file type that they will accept electronically is a PDF. Okay? So if you've got a Word document, you'll convert it to PDF. If you've got a physical document with wet signatures on it and you go to scan it as a PDF. Okay? Because other document types they will not consume. So if you happen to have a Word document, you cannot simply rename it .pdf. That does not work. And TurboCourt will stop you. And the reason we will stop you is because if we let that go through, the court's going to reject your filing. And as I said, we're doing everything we can up front to alleviate that possibility. So just fair warning. So I'm going to go ahead and I did, in fact, prepare my appearance document already. So I'm simply going to find it. There it is. And when I click Save, TurboCourt will analyze it and make sure that it is, in fact, a valid PDF. And so there is my appearance document. Now, I have a couple of other links here. I've got the View link. So I could click the View link and open this document that I just attached to make sure I actually attached the right one. Right? Double check. You may want to do that. If you do need to change anything, you can click the link that now says Edit. Once I've attached it, it goes from Attach to Edit. And so if I click the Edit link, it simply brings me back to that exact same screen. Again, I can change that title or description, or I can replace the file that I previously attached. So if I realize, no, I attached the wrong one, simply choose a different file. We'll simply remove the one you previously attached and replace it with this new one. Okay? And then there is a third link here for this document, which is the Remove link. So let's imagine that you've prepared a document and you've attached it. You click the View link and you realize, oh no, I forgot to make those changes. I haven't really finished my changes. That's not the right one. And the document that you need to replace it with isn't ready yet. You, in fact, have more work to do on it before it's ready to be uploaded. Pro tip, click the Remove button and don't leave the bad document in here. Because in your very busy day, you're very likely going to forget that you haven't yet replaced it. And then you're going to submit this filing with the wrong document and have the hassle of having to deal with that. So if you have attached a document and you realize you need to change it, but you don't have the new version ready, just click Remove, because you're not going to be able to submit this filing with a missing document, right? So again, we're trying to protect you in all the ways we could think of. All right, so you're welcome to prepare your own documents, upload them. If you have documents that require wet signatures, right? So you're going to scan them and then upload them. That's very typical, right? But if you want to do it all electronically, you can do that now. Even electronic signatures, because as of January 1st, rules around electronic signatures are going into effect, and they're fairly, as I understand it, fairly broad definition. Heather can probably speak to that at the end during Q&A. But you can do electronic signatures now if you want to. So let me just show you one of the ways you can do that. Okay? You don't have to do this, but I just want to let you know that it's available to you. So what you're going to see here is that for each of these documents that are listed, there's also a link from the Connecticut Probate Court site with that document. It's a PDF. In fact, it's a fillable PDF. And so if I were to click on this PC300 link, once again, we're now pulling the document from the Connecticut court site, probate court site. And this is, do that again. This is a fillable document. I can fill this out this way. So I want to do that. I want to fill this out in this fashion, and I want to use digital signatures. I don't want to go through getting a wet signature and then scanning it and uploading it. Okay? So here's how I can do that. I'm going to simply download this particular fillable PDF to my hard drive, to my network drive, wherever I store my files. So I click the download button, and there's the PC300. I already have it here, but I'll just go ahead and replace it. Okay, go ahead and close that. Go to my drive where I just downloaded that file, the PC300. Now, there's a lot of different products out there that can read PDF files. Obviously, Adobe Acrobat is probably the one you're most familiar with. There are others. But there's a particular version of Adobe Acrobat that I want to bring to your attention. It's called Adobe Acrobat Reader DC. There's no cost for this software. It's free. So I highly recommend you grab it. Just go to the internet, type in Acrobat Reader DC, you'll get a link, you can install it on your computer. It gives you extra functionality with PDFs that you don't get with the standard Adobe Reader, which is primarily just reading PDFs. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up with my DC, my Reader DC software. Okay, so there is my fillable PDF, but what you're going to notice on the right side of the screen there is that there's other capabilities that you don't typically get with a PDF document. So let's just imagine and pretend that I am filling this one out. Et cetera, et cetera. I'm filling out the fields. By the way, just so you know, where it says in the matter of James Wilson at the top here, once I put that person's name in, this fillable PDF will put that person's name at the top of every page. It's just a really efficient way of doing things. Okay, so let's imagine that I've finished filling out everything I need to fill out, and now it's time for signatures. Now, depending on the nature of the document, sometimes the signature can be yours, the attorney. Often it's not, right? It could be the petitioner or somebody else that you're needing a wet signature from. So let me show you what this DC version of Adobe Acrobat gives you. On the right-hand side, you'll see a button called Fill and Sign. When I click on that, it asks who needs to sign. Do you need to sign, meaning me, the person who's doing this, or do you need others to sign? If you need others to sign, you can invite them to electronically sign these documents. You may have electronically signed documents in the past, I don't know, but what you basically do is you establish where in this document, and it may be multiple places where you need their signature or initials. You say, I need their signature here and on the bottom of page 5. And this is the name of the person whose signature I need. You send them an email with a link, they open it up, they simply type their name, that's all they do. And voila, their signature electronically is automatically placed exactly where you need it. Okay? That's how that works. It's very cool. I'm not going to demonstrate all of that right now, but I will demonstrate the electronic signature as though I'm signing it, just so you can see. The caveat to all of this is that when it's you who is signing, there's no cost. But when you're going to invite other people to sign, Adobe does charge you for that. I do not know what they charge, but I would say check it out and look in to see if it's cost worth taking on versus the time it takes to get wet signatures and all of that. So let's just say I have to sign this. I'll click Fill and Sign here. I'll click the Sign button that appears now at the top. Let's remove my previous signature, pretend I never did that. So I can add signature, I can add initials, right? Sometimes documents need to be initialized. So I'm going to go ahead and add my signature. And the simplest way to do that is to simply type my name. I'll click Apply, because I'm the one who's signing it. And so there is my signature floating around as I move my mouse, and I'm just going to say where on the document I want it. Now again, if you're inviting other people to sign electronically, they don't do that. You're going to tell the software, this is where I want Stephen's signature. He types his name and it'll just automatically appear on that line. And if you need multiple people to sign, you can do that. Say, I need Stephen to sign here, I need Betty to sign there, whatever it happens to be, okay? So now I'm going to save my signed version of this document. So I'll just do a standard save as. And there we go. I've got now my fully filled out and signed document, and now I'm ready to attach it. So it's an option for you. You can still do wet signatures and scan them as PDFs. But if you want to explore this possibility, this option, it's very convenient. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly attach these other two documents so that we can then proceed with the next step. So this is going to be my confidential information document for the PC 300, and then the physician's evaluation. Okay, I've answered a couple of questions. I've attached my documents. Normally it would be faster, you wouldn't have somebody talking about all these what-if scenarios, right? Before we proceed with that final step of electronically submitting everything and making my payment, I want to bring to your attention some other functionality associated with these form set filings. At the top here, you'll notice a row of buttons, these toolbar buttons. And there's two in particular that I want to bring your attention to right now. The first two, notifications and add keyword matter number. If I click on the notifications button, there's two areas here, email preferences and courtesy notifications. Email preferences is simply showing you your current default setting in your profile as to whether or not you're receiving email notifications. Hopefully all of you already have email notifications turned on, so there's really nothing to do here. But just so you understand what this is all about, is if you were somebody who said, yeah, really, I don't want any more email, and I really will log into TurboCourt all the time and see what the court is sending to me, like I said, you can do that. That's okay. We just don't recommend it. So if that was your profile setting, no emails at all, we'll show that to you. And let's just say this is Friday afternoon. You're initiating a new case. It's a brand new client, and you're about to go on vacation. You really are not going to be logging into TurboCourt. So for this one filing, override my profile setting and do send me email notifications about this one filing. So that's what this functionality allows you to do. As I said, hopefully that's really not an issue for you and there's nothing more for you to do there. But the courtesy notifications area is very helpful because you can have other people receive notifications about this one filing. So you're the filer, you're going to be getting notified. If at the company level, the company administrator put an email address in that notifications inbox, then whoever that is, they get a copy of everybody's notifications, right? But what if you want somebody else to receive notifications about this particular filing because you are about to go on vacation? Put your paralegal's email address in here, co-counsel, your boss, maybe the client's email address. Put anybody you want, really, right? They'll just get status updates as to this one filing, right? What's going on with it. So if it's a particularly critical filing, you may want to do that, okay? It's optional. And you can put multiple email addresses in this one, okay? So in the company-wide one, it's one email address. But when it's per form set filing, as we're looking at right now, you can put as many email addresses in here as you'd like. If you do, just separate them with a comma. And then whatever changes you make, just click Save. So that is the notifications button for this form set filing. There's also an Add Keyword Matter Number button. You'll see there's an Add Keyword, a Keyword Matter Number field here. It's currently blank. When I click on that button, it brings up a field where I can type in anything I want. Alphanumeric, special characters, multiple words. Highly recommend you use this. You use it for tracking purposes. This has nothing to do with the courts at all. This has to do with your own internal tracking of your clients, of your cases, of the work that you're doing. So if you use a client ID system, put your client's ID associated with each of the filings you're doing on their behalf. Because then you can do a search later on that says, show me all the filings I did on behalf of this particular client in the last few months, or in all of 2018, or all of 2019, right? And especially if you're a firm with multiple attorneys, come up with a coordinated way of using the keyword matter number field, especially if you've got lots of people filing on the same case. You've got an attorney and the legal assistants filing on it. If you all use the same system for coding these, then it doesn't matter who does the filing. Somebody, the filing administrator, is going to be able to find all the filings for that particular client number, right? Or maybe you use a case tracking system, right? So you can use it any way you want. So I'm going to imagine that this is for my client A-23456, but I could add more words here. I could put in special characters, whatever it is that you need and use. And then click Save. And now this form set filing has a keyword matter number associated with it. And we can use it for searching and tracking. Okay? It doesn't matter when you do this. Maybe you forgot to do it and you've already submitted the filing to the court. Oh my God. It's okay, because it has nothing to do with the court. You can come back and do this at any time. Add the keyword matter number anytime you want. Change the keyword matter number. Edit it if you need to. If you mistyped it, it's not a problem. Okay? So let's go ahead and submit this filing. You'll see the submit button, and because there is a fee required, we're going to take you to the payment processor that the Connecticut probate courts are using, and it's LexisNexis. And so now we are communicating live with LexisNexis. Now this is their testing environment as well, but it's very similar to what you're going to encounter when you're doing your filings and you're needing to make a payment. So in the LexisNexis screen, say that 10 times fast, you're going to need to confirm your email. They need you to do that. You're going to need to put in your phone number. And then you've got 3 different payment options: credit card, personal check, or business check. So if you selected one of the check options, you'd be putting in the routing number, the bank account number, okay, the business phone number. Okay? And I believe that gets processed as an ACH transaction. For a credit card, you put in the credit card information. Okay? And I'm actually going to do that right now. And no, that's not my credit card number. LexisNexis gives you the ability to save that payment information with their system if you want to, so you don't have to keep entering it each time. I'm going to uncheck that box. I believe by default it's checked. Either way, I'm going to have it unchecked. And they also use CAPTCHA to make sure you're not a computer bot of some sort. If I've entered everything correctly, it will let me continue. There we go. The final OK screen where I check the box saying I'm ready to make this payment. Okay? Assuming the payment goes through well, you'll get a receipt, and then from there, from that receipt, you can go back to TurboCourt. Very important note, when you're going through this process for a filing fee, for example, this is a pre-authorization only. So whether you're doing a credit card or a check, the money is not being taken at this point. It's pre-authorized. Once the court accepts your filing and it goes from delivered to e-filed, then the money is actually taken from whatever account you've selected. Okay, so this is pre-authorization only. I'm going to click Pay Now. Hopefully everything's good. Great. So there we go. I'm at the receipt now. And what you're going to see on the LexisNexis receipt at the bottom is a sentence that says, click on this link to return to the TurboCourt website. Doesn't look like a link, but it is. So just click on that sentence. And when you do, we'll return you to TurboCourt. And sure enough, my status is now delivered. Congratulations, you've just successfully filed an initiating set of documents into the probate court, made your payment. Now, just a quick note also, sometimes there is a short delay in LexisNexis telling TurboCourt that everything is fine. And so when you come back to this screen, it might still say completed, or it may say filing pending or something like that. Just wait a few moments, refresh your screen, and it'll say delivered. Okay? So it's just a waiting from LexisNexis sometimes. So from this screen where it tells me my payment's been processed, it says to see your filing, click here, I'll do that. And now I'm back in my filing. The status is delivered. And I see that in addition to this filing details area where my forms are, I have two other tabs. There's a messages tab. Let me click on that. Now this is messages just for this one form set filing. So thank you for submitting your documents. Let me click on that. Okay, great. So I know they've received it. There's no technical problem with them having received these documents. And I'll go ahead and mark that as being read. And your payments tab. So I can click on that. And from within TurboCourt, it's showing me the transaction number from LexisNexis, the dollar amount. I can click on the payment details. And it's going to show me my form set number, no case number yet, right? Because it's an initiating case, we haven't gotten it. What it's all about, the transaction number again, payment status is pending, it's pre-authorized, hasn't actually been accepted yet. And the corresponding fees. If I want, I can print this, so I have a hard copy of this receipt. I can save it. I can, instead of printing it, I can just save it to my drive, so I have a digital copy. Okay, so that's available to me. And back to my filing details. So that's it. I'm simply waiting for the court to accept this filing, and then it will change from delivered to e-filed. So let's take a quick look at what that looks like once the court has accepted your filing. So here's a very similar filing that I created, same 4 documents, okay? And you'll notice the status of this particular filing is e-filed, meaning the court has in fact accepted it already. So let's take a look again at that messages link, and you'll see that there are more messages that are coming to me now about this particular form set filing. It says your documents have been e-filed, and whatever else it says. There's now a case number where there wasn't one before. If I click on your payments, it shows the payment status went from pending, pre-authorization, to paid. They've now taken the money. And back on that filing details screen, where we have these different toolbar buttons, I want to bring to your attention a new toolbar button that wasn't actually there before. And it's the one on the far right called View Court Case Documents. This button appears when you're looking at a form set whose status is e-filed. So when this particular form set filing was still in status, let's say delivered, this button was not there. But the moment the court accepts it and it goes to e-filed, this button automatically appears, and when I click on it, it will take me to all of the case documents for that particular case. Now, this isn't particularly interesting, it's just my 4 documents, I'm the one who initiated the case. But let's say you were filing into an existing case, right, just a new report or something, and it's an e-filed filing. When I click on View Court Case Documents, I'm going to get access to all of those case documents. Now, I showed you earlier that as attorneys, you can always go to My Cases, right, in the user menu, and access any of your cases in any of the case documents, right? But this is another way for you to access case documents. If you happen to be in a filing on a case and its status is e-filed, you don't have to go to My Cases, just click on View Court Case Documents, and now you've got access in the same way to all of those case documents on that case.